your attention, please. Other row in the back. Satch, come on, come closer over here. Okay, we're going to do some quick trivia. 2002. What was the top TV show in 2002 going on 20 years ago? Top TV show. Yell it out. Friends was one of the top TV shows in 2002. The other top TV show that you may remember was Joe Millionaire. That did not go as far as Meetup has gone. What was the #1 highest valued company in the entire world in June 2002? Not Yahoo. It was about to be Microsoft. Before that, it was General Electric. GE. Yes, 20 years ago, it was the highest valued company in the world and the #1 best-selling business book at the time. Little did Jim Collins know that he was referring to Meetup, but the #1 best-selling business book in 2002, referring to Meetup, was
Good to Great.
Good to Great. That's right, Good to Great. And great we are, thank God. Let's just do some quick applause here, because I want to just give thank yous to all the very special people. We'll keep this short, so we'll have some more time to have fun. Everyone who is a Meetup organizer, if you could just give yourself a round of applause, please, if you're a Meetup organizer. Thank you. If you're a Meetup employee, give yourself a round of applause if you're an employee. Okay. I like it. If you're a friend of Meetup, in any way, shape, or form, give yourself a round of applause for Friends of Meetup. Thank you. Thank you, Friends of Meetup. Okay, if you're one of the 2 co-founders in this room, give yourself a little whoop round of applause. Brandon and Scott, 2 co-founders that are here. It gives me beyond pleasure, and we talked about Scott briefly before I introduce him shortly, that the 2 of you are here. Thank you so much for building Meetup 20 years ago. We all would not be here, and more importantly, the millions and millions of people that we've impacted would not be here. Even if, Friends is the #1 show, and Good to Great is the #1 best-selling book, and GE is not the most valued company in the world anymore. At Meetup, we have 60 million members. We have actually reached, which is an amazing milestone, close to 500 million connections between all the times and connections that have happened through Meetup, and over 2 million groups and communities that have been established since Meetup's founding. Astounding numbers from what it used to be. Back in 2002, yeah, thank you, Scott. Only Scott possibly knows this, but back in 2002, the group that had the topic that had the most followers was what topic? Witches had the most topic followers back in 2002, and oh, how things have changed. So I want to introduce this amazing video. If you can't see the video, then get a little closer, and so you can see the video. So let's let the video ring, and then I'm going to be introducing an amazing organizer, and then Scott. Thank you.
Hello everybody, my name is Scott Heiferman, and I'm here to tell you my Meetup story. I had the idea to start Meetup, the website and the service, soon after 9/11. The New York City had a pretty unique feeling of community going on. People were looking after each other. The city felt like a city of neighbors, not just a city of strangers for a little while. We think that if there was a Meetup everywhere about most everything, that would bring it means people will have access to a community that welcomes them and provides all kind of benefits for them, and the people come together, and that's a good thing.
Heiferman, stand up. He has been a guide and a coach and has helped me so much over the first couple of months. Thank you. I have gratitude to you for passing the baton and for all you're going to continue to do to help our company. The work that we are doing at Meetup, the work that all organizers are doing, the work that our 60 million members are doing is all towards the goal of curing the loneliness epidemic. And if more people in more countries attend a Meetup event and join a Meetup group, the world as we know it will be a different place. Thank you so much for everything that you do, and I'm so lucky to be a part of Meetup.
I love Meetup. I think it's one of the most important organizations in the world.
Meetup makes it easy to find like-minded people who are looking to talk about the same thing.
I am one of many who have met their significant other or their spouse through Meetup.
We use Meetup to grow our social circle, but also to grow our company.
The ethos of what you're doing is you're helping people create connections around topical information.
I'm proud to say that I've hosted the most events on Meetup. I believe it's over 65,000 events.
One of the highlights of kind of my professional personal life is running my Meetup group. And for the many organizers that are out there, I just wanted to thank you. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it's because of you that we have been able to impact the lives of 60 million people over the 20 years.
Hello, everybody. My name is Scott Heiferman, and I'm here to tell you my Meetup.
We're gonna hear more. We're gonna hear more from Scott soon. Thank you to Hash. Where's Hash right now? Hash, thank you. That was absolutely amazing. And to Mary, and to Janine, and to Ariana, amazing work that you do all the time to capture the magic, that is Meetup. I want to introduce now someone who is really just one of the most special people that I've ever had the opportunity to meet, frankly, in my entire life. His name is David Good. Where's David? David's right here. Okay. David runs 9 different Meetup groups. He has an average of 9 to 10 events every single week. Every single week. He flew in here from Michigan to be able to be a part of today's, festivities. He is someone who is devoting his life to connecting people, and I just am in awe of you. So thank you, David. Please.
Yeah, David!
Just want to say how grateful I am for everyone that works for Meetup. You're really one of the only tech companies working for the public good to actually help people. And you've probably heard my story in the podcast, but recently my mother passed in March. Worst time in my life. We lived together all our lives, but thanks to the, sorry, it's a bit hard to talk about, but thanks to all the friends I met through my Meetup groups, I was able to throw 16 people into a chat, and I said, hey, this is the worst time of my life. I've never asked anyone for anything before, but I can't be alone right now. And I did not have to spend any time alone except by choice for the first month and a half after my mom passed. And if this would have happened 10 years ago before I became an organizer, I would have pretty much been all alone except for like my best friend I've had since elementary school. So I'm just really grateful to Meetup. And with the work that I'm doing now, I do Zoom meetings every night. And it started during the worst of COVID, and I was going to stop them, but people said, you know what, a lot of us wouldn't be here right now if we didn't have these Zoom meetings to come to. We wouldn't have gotten through lockdown, so you need to keep them going on. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a global organization to hopefully and eventually help millions of people around the world to kind of like end loneliness and just help connect people. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you, David. Okay. Scott's baby is almost allowed to drink, as Brandon had just reminded me, at 20 years. Baby's allowed to vote but not yet drink. And in many ways, in all ways, a company is the DNA of the founder. And Meetup specialness that you see in video, Meetup specialness that you heard from David, Meetup specialness that each of you always have experienced and you know, is a direct line to all four of the founders, so Brandon and the other founders as well, and certainly to Scott, who ran the company prior to my joining for 16 years. It gives me incredible enjoyment and appreciation to have Scott say a few words. So thank you, Scott, so much for being here. Great dancing with your son.
Thank you, David. Thank you, David. Thanks to everyone who made the effort to show up here this evening. Meetup really is something that it is literally nothing without the people who organize the meetups, without the team that makes it, without all the people who care about it. There would be no meetup without Brendan McGovern in the back here. We have worked together every day for almost 3 decades now, and the idea. And actually, it's the story of how Brendan and I met. We sat next to each other at orientation at a job in New Jersey, first job out of college. We sat next to him, and we've worked together ever since. Which in there is the spirit of Meetup, which is you never know who you're going to meet that's going to be important to your life. You never know who could just randomly be standing next to you right now or sitting next to you at any point that they could be important in your life, and sparking those connections is what it's all about. If you make something, I also want to say, like, we had a good idea, we made some good decisions, and we worked our butts off. But all that doesn't mean anything. Also, if someone like David doesn't come along and like carry the torch forward and make it even better, all the people who are working it every day, it could, these things can die. Organizers could not care. The team could not care. I think the smartest thing we did, and I love what this guy David, who I just met, a few minutes ago, said, which is, we are a company that really stands for something. We really have a purpose and a mission. It's also good to make money. It's not, money's not bad. But it is. But you really have to wonder, and I've like had my heart and soul tested a bit. Companies that you really believe in, that are doing some good, and they grow and they become grotesque, and you don't know who they are, what they are, and are they really out for your best interests? And I think that we really built into Meetup this core, simple idea, which is what would happen if people could come together, if you could bring people together around a common purpose, common interest, locally, and let's see what happens. And thankfully, what happened is something that that is just a dream. This is all a dream, by the way. The idea that you can start a Meetup group or start the platform itself, or work for it or take it over, and then just see people do their thing. The last thing I'll say is that I'll tell you, when we were trying to launch the first Meetup, as a good manager, a good leader, you're like pushing people, like, let's go faster, let's launch this thing. And so the goal was I want to launch this thing before I turn 30. And my birthday was June 13th. And, sadly, we didn't pull it off. We launched it on June 14th. Thus, here we are. Today's the 20th birthday. So, do the math. And yesterday I turned 50. So that's a little scary. But the idea that you can launch, you can just launch something, and even though Meetup was born out of 9/11, which was a real dark time and one of the most horrible things that happened in this country, it feels like that was even an innocent time compared to today. You could 20 years ago when you started Meetup, and 15 years ago, 10, even 5 years ago, you could get a bunch of random people together in a room, and you don't have to worry about like whether there would be, I'll just put it this way: you don't have to say like, now don't talk about politics, or don't talk about this, or talk about that. But not even thinking about COVID, where it's the idea was, well, if you have these small gatherings, it would have a rippling big effect on a culture and a society to feel a little bit closer together, to feel a little more trust, to be able to lean on each other and turn to each other, forming these relationships that wouldn't have existed if this platform didn't exist, or if you organizers didn't do what you do. Now it's a little more complicated, but I would say that, have we done good? Have we sparked all kinds of good? Yes, that is it's happened. The babies were born, the businesses were formed of founders that met at a meetup, and the bands were formed where they met at a meetup. But what you got to believe is that Meetup, I'm so grateful for everyone working on it now, organizers, team, leadership, because they're just carrying forward an idea that is, the oldest idea in the world. It's not my idea, which is that when people meet up, good things happen. And man, do we need more good things to happen today in the world. So you're doing really important work in whatever role you're playing as part of this thing. And I really do believe, I used to talk about like Meetup as a movement. That's a too grandiose word. I mean more just like a subtle, quiet, small, gentle, but aggressive cultural shift towards people being a little friendlier, a little kinder, a little bit, and spark all these good things. And, you gotta believe that it's, as long as Meetup is growing, and by the way, anyone who's working at Meetup, you take it upon yourself to say, is the project I'm working on, gonna grow this thing or not? Because, you gotta pick the things that help it grow. And that you gotta believe that over time, it can build, and this may not have been a 10 or 20-year project. It might be a 30 or 40-year project that changes the world. So, let's keep at it.
Okay, it's raising a glass time. So if you have a glass, raise it. If you don't have a glass, then, just raise your head and your hands. Here is what we are going to toast. We're going to toast, for me at least, I'm going to toast my personal dreams. What are my dreams? My dreams are a world with no xenophobia, a world with no racism, a world without ignorance, a world of connections, a world where people appreciate differences from each other and are constantly learning from each other. A world of growth, a world where the loneliness epidemic is forever over, and a world where Meetup is here forever. Please join me in a toast, everyone. Thank you so much.